When I heard the title, Primitive War, I thought this movie was going to be a war movie where they discover dinosaurs. And I was right on that. And I'm not a huge fan of war movies. They're not my type of movie to watch. And dinosaur movies, to me, they're fine. They're not my favorite creature creation movie to watch. So putting these two together, I knew going in, essentially this movie was not going to be 100% for me, which is completely fine. But I was a little bit curious about it with how they were going to mix it together. And when I left the theater, I thought it was fine. I had a decent time in the theater. I just felt that had the time I expected to have with it. So without further ado, Primitive War takes place during Vietnam War in the 60s, where soldiers are sent on a mission to recover something only to discover dinosaurs. And going right into the pros, I liked the mix of the war side of the story and the dinosaur side of the story, which is my biggest concern going into this with my two kind of least favorite genres. And I think they did a good mixture. Is it probably mainly because they got to dinosaur stuff kind of fast and you didn't get like 45 minutes of war stuff? Most likely, absolutely. So I think they did a good mixture, at least for my take. I also found the way they handled the story and how things went throughout the movie, I like that. And I also thought the characters were fine. Again, these aren't really my type of movies. So when you have characters that are generally in war type of movies, they're not going to be my favorite characters, but I thought they were fine. I thought the acting was good. I liked the characters and the story. They were fine. And I do like the way the story went as well with them. It's fine. And that is really it for my positives. Like I said, this generally is not my type of movie. But going right into my mix, and the first mix I generally want to give it is the length time. This was an awkward length time for me because it felt like time passed by fine. The pacing I didn't really have too much of an issue with, but it was like 2 hours. Towards the end it felt a little long, but not at the same time. I also felt like the dinosaurs themselves were fine. Some did look better than others, and then there's some scenes that dinosaurs looked better than in others, and it wasn't a consistency. It wasn't at all. It was just a whole bunch of fine. And also, it does expand to the ending. I think anyone could see the ending when going into, especially when you got to the middle of the movie where they get to a certain point. You could kind of see where things go because they've ended movies like this before in creature features. So I kind of knew that's where they were going, and for that point, I think it was fine. And for the story where it went, I thought that part was fine. But that's really it for the mixed aspect of this movie, because there is one huge negative for this, and this movie had terrible CGI. Whether you're talking about the fire effects or the blood was probably the worst of the two crimes because there was a lot more fake blood, the scenes that weren't well at all. That was the biggest crime this movie had. Like, I haven't seen terrible CGI like that in such a long time, and that was such a disappointment because I thought the movie was going fine and the CGI scenes would come on. It was strong. But going right into the spoilers, the plan of what I got was trying to take over and use that power of dinosaurs. I thought was fine. I thought that was an interesting take. I kind of saw that. I'm like going in, at least that's where my mind went to where the type of movie is. So playing out, that was fine. I don't know how anyone else felt like that. In my theater, I was surrounded with people who were more into this type of movie, especially people I was next to. They had a lot better time with it than I did, to say the least. But there was one funny moment when I was walking out and like there was a whole group and someone said, "Wow, that CGI was awful." And it was like, "Oh yeah, that was really bad." And I'm like, well, yeah. So that's really I think the biggest spoiler is just the way they wanted to weaponize dinosaurs and use it in the war aspect of the movie. So comment down below what you guys thought of that when you saw it. But And referring to the ending, although this is a very common ending for creature movies, I can think of quite a few on top of my head that end with the creature taking over the world. I think it fits this movie very well. I think they hinted at it pretty fine, and the point they were trying to make about it, it fits. It's fine. It fits the movie, you know? Overall, this movie is not my type of movie, but for the movie it was, I thought it was fine. I had a good time with it. I think I would have had a better time if there wasn't as terrible CGI and if the movie was a little different in certain aspects when it came to certain scenes, how things were shot. But overall, it was fine. I think if you're into more war and dinosaur movies, you'll have a better time than I did. But overall, it was fine. So comment down below if you have seen Primitive War or if you're gonna go see it or not. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video.